Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. Today we are doing my official League 2 predictions for the 22-23 season. This is a big one, so drop a like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and your predictions down in the comments. This has frazzled my brain trying to predict this league, so don't get too offended. I've changed my predictions every couple of hours when I've been looking at this division. But let's get into this, starting from the bottom and working our way up. So then obviously two clubs get relegated. In my bottom two, I have gone for Stevenage, bottom of the league. I feel like a lot of people are fancying Stevenage to go down this season. They weren't particularly great last year. They did do well to survive, to be fair to them, when the pressure was on, but I just think Stevenage won't have the quality to survive this year. I think in particular when I look at League 2 this season, the teams that have come up look pretty strong, and obviously that means teams that were in League 2 last year might fill the void of the bottom two this time round. I think Stevenage will be one of them. The other team we're going for is Harrogate. This actually pains me because I've liked seeing them in the Football League, but they could certainly prove me wrong. I've just put them in bottom two. I feel like it could be competitive, and if you're a Harrogate fan, I have literally changed my prediction every couple of hours. But I've just gone for you to go down. I think this could be dead close though, but I'm putting you in 23rd, maybe just falling short. So then, surviving the drop in 22nd place, I've gone for Barrow. I've heard the Barrow fans and what they've had to say after my early predictions video. I think I expect Barrow to be down there, but they could just get over the line. Obviously, they had a reasonable season last year, and I feel like they could just get over the line this time round. It's going to be close. I feel like it could be competitive, and there might not be all too much in it, but I think Barrow are a team that I've got enough about them to stay in League 2, and yeah, some decent results last season. Only saw them in glimpses last season with some of their highlights from some of their games. They've got a couple of decent players, to be fair, and I think they could just beat the drop this time. If you're a Barrow fan, are you happy that I've put you to survive? Next up, 21st place, I'm also going to go for Crawley Town. Crawley, a town, a team I don't think will go down, but won't have an inspiring season, so I put them in the surviving category. Not enough quality to really push up the division this time round, I don't think. Crawley Town, I think, will survive, but that could just be it. Just above them, I'm going for Colchester United. When I look back on my predictions from seasons before, I feel like I always fancy Colchester to maybe scuttle up the division a bit, and then they kind of let me down. So I'm basing this on previous seasons' history. I mean, last season wasn't a great season. They're not really in danger of going down, but they're never really setting the world on fire. So I think Colchester surviving in around 20th place. And then the final team in my surviving category in 19th place, I've gone for Rochdale. I'm actually quite surprised by Rochdale. As a team that came down from League 1, you'd have thought they'd be pushing to bounce back, but something isn't quite right at the club. Not enough quality for me, and I think they will have a bottom half finish. So then, as we push up through the table towards mid-table, I'm going for Hartlepool United next. I want Hartlepool to survive. I don't think they will go down. Hopefully they're in no danger of it. Whether they've got the quality to push up the table in towards a playoff battle is a different question, but Hartlepool United have done fairly well since coming back up from the National League, and I think they will hold their own again. Then we've got Walsall, a tricky team to predict. I've changed my mind a few times on Walsall, ranging from about 13th down to 17th, and I feel like they'll be in that bubble. If they're not in that 4 or 5 spaces just below 12th, I'll be quite surprised. I don't think they'll go down, but once again, do they have the quality to make the playoffs? Probably not. In 16th place, I have gone for Sutton United. Sutton actually really impressed me last season, and I'm being a bit harsh here by putting them down the table a bit. Sutton, for a newly promoted team, really pushed on quite well, and I think they'll hold their own again. It'd be great to see them stay in League 2, but their fans will be looking up the table rather than down after last season, so we'll wait and see with them. In 15th place, I've gone for Newport County. This is tricky. Once you get to about 15th upwards, there's a lot of teams that you could put in contention for the playoff mix, and I think Newport are certainly one of them. They've obviously competed for the playoffs before, they've made the playoffs before. I think they could be in and around mid-table this time though. They didn't really do it when the season came to a close last year, and I'm not sure what to expect going into this season. In 14th place, I've gone for Salford City. Now this is a complete change on my early predictions video where I kind of based it on what the bookies had to say. The bookies really fancied Salford to be one of the favourites to make automatic promotion, but you look at what they did last season, it was just outside the playoffs, so maybe it'd have been fair if I'd have just put them closer to the playoffs this time when I do my official predictions. I've seen a few people saying that Salford, again, overhyped this season, so they seem to be a bit of a wild card going into this season, so I don't know if mid-table's a reasonable prediction or not. I feel like it could go absolutely anyway with Salford, but Probably more likely to be higher than this, but I've put them 14th. And then the last team in my mid-table category as we look up to 13th, I've gone for Carlisle United. I like Carlisle United. I feel like the problem last season was consistency. They had rhythms of consistency here and there, but I would like to see them push on this season and get closer to the playoff mix. I think they've got a great set of fans, some decent players there, and I think slap bang in the middle of the table is my prediction. So then, as we jump into my top half, in 12th place, I've gone for Crewe Alexandra. Now, this is one that could really bite me on the bum because Crewe have a decent record when it comes to League Two. They know how to get promoted out of this division. But looking at what they did last season in League One, they were absolutely rubbish. They were a shambles, and it's all about how they restructure through this summer. There's obviously been some transfer business there. I've looked at a couple of their pre-season scorelines. You can't read too much into them, so I feel like it would help if I could see how they perform in their first 3 or 4 games in League Two, but I don't have that advantage here. I'm doing these predictions 2 weeks before the season starts, and I think I'm going to put Crewe around mid-table. But if I had to move them up or down the division, I'd certainly move them up. In 11th place, I've gone for Tranmere Rovers. Obviously a team I expect to be battling around the playoffs again. They've got decent players, a decent fan base. I quite like going to Tranmere away. It's a tricky one with Tranmere because of the amount of teams that are going to be trying to squeeze their way into this top 7. A couple might just get nudged down a place or two. I think Tranmere are certainly in that battle. Whether they make it or not, we have to wait and see. If you're a Tranmere fan, do you think you make it, or is mid-table or just below the playoffs more reasonable and more fair? So then into my top 10, I've gone for Gillingham. Gillingham obviously coming down from League One. It wasn't a very good season, to be honest. They'd been in League One for quite a while, so I was quite surprised to see them go down. And I think in League Two, they might need some time to adjust. It wouldn't surprise me if they had a slow start and then a good finish. Obviously, they've had quite a bit of transfer business go on, and they're going to be a club up there in terms of potential as a team that's come down from League One. So I think top 10 for Gillingham. Do you think they make the top 7? Get your predictions down below. Then, as we move into 9th place, I've gone for Grimsby. This would be a pretty solid season for a team that's just come up through the National League playoffs, but looking at what some teams have done recently when they've come up from the National League, they can certainly more than hold their own in League Two. And Grimsby are a team that really belong in the Football League, to be honest. They've got a great fan base. They were very impressive towards the end of last season. They were very impressive in the playoffs. The resilience they showed, I feel like they came from behind to win all those playoff games. I mean, they were very impressive. And to be honest, I nearly put them in my top 7. So if you're a Grimsby fan, do you think you could be in this top 10? I think you could be. Last up, before we come on to my top 7, I've gone for Doncaster Rovers. This was a tricky one. I think Doncaster are certainly going to be in the top 10. It's so close, though, trying to separate these teams from getting into the playoffs or not. Doncaster, I think, are a club that at least belong in League One. They shouldn't be down in League Two, but they weren't good enough last season. They seem to pick up a couple of decent results here and there. So consistency will be key this season. There's been transfer business going on. Whether they can gel from the get-go and get off to a good start is maybe what this could come down to. Doncaster in 8th place. So then on to my playoffs. In 7th place, I have gone for Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient for me are a team I think will move up the division. Obviously there's plenty of quality coming into this division from League One and the National League. I think League Two is almost more competitive than it's ever been. But Leyton Orient are a team for me that's certainly going in the right direction. I like them as a club. I've got a lot of time for their fans, and I think they've actually got very decent players. If they can continue to pull in a couple more decent players before the season gets going, they're going to be my team to finish 7th. That's where I'm putting them. In 6th place then, I have gone for AFC Wimbledon. Out of the teams coming down, I have this feeling that Wimbledon will be one of the strongest. I think Wimbledon will make the playoffs. I'd like to see them bounce back. So the playoffs is obviously a bit of a lottery. If they finish in there, whether they come back or not is uncertain. It'd be great to see them actually finish in the automatics. But if you're a Wimbledon fan, get your thoughts down on this. I think there's the potential to bounce back. They were okay at times in League One, but just not massively consistent, and that is obviously why they got relegated. In 5th place then, I've gone for Bradford City, a team that obviously get tipped to do well pretty much every season before a League Two ball gets rolling, because they're a big club with potential. They had a really weird run of results. I think they had a really bad home run at times last season. I think consistency, once again, is what killed Bradford last season. So the potential at that club is obviously massive, and I'd love to see them get it right this time round. I'm putting them in 5th place. If you're a Bradford fan, do you agree? The last team in my playoffs, in 4th place, I've gone for Northampton. I think, for me, there's 4 teams I could have swapped around in this top 4. And Northampton, I'm putting 4th place, but I really think could make the automatic. So don't be offended if you're a Northampton fan. Just let me know where you'd put yourselves. I think Northampton after last season were very, very unlucky in how they didn't get promoted. Obviously, the Bristol Rovers thing on the final day was painful, and then the playoffs just didn't go to plan. But if you look over the 46-game League Two season, they were very impressive. And this time, I think they'll finish pretty similar, but they could just get in there. If you're a Northampton fan, do you think you'll climb, stay, or go down the table after last season? I think this could be their year, but I put them fourth. So then, this is it, my top three. In third place, I've gone for Mansfield Town. Mansfield, once again, were a team that were desperately unlucky not to go up last season. They got all the way to the playoff final. Very impressive, by the way, against Northampton over the 2 games. But in the final, they just hit the self-destruct button against Port Vale with the red card, the 2 quick-fire goals for Port Vale. And it frustrated me because, obviously, I'd have been happy to see either team get promoted, but I feel like Mansfield had so much potential. They were very, very good through parts of last season, and I think this time around, with a couple of good additions that they've had through the summer, they will make the automatics. Then in second place, this is a really out there prediction. I've gone for Stockport County. I think Stockport were mesmerising, maybe the best National League team we've seen, because the National League was the best it's ever been last season. It's always hotting up, and Stockport topped that league with some incredible performances, great players, and a great fan base behind them. I think they surprise a lot of people next season in League Two. Second place for Stockport. Let me know if you agree. So then, top of the league is Swindon Town. Swindon are a strong outfit. Last season, they were another team that came desperately close to getting promoted and fell short in the playoffs against Port Vale on a penalty shootout. It's probably the harshest way to not get promoted via a penalty shootout. I think they'll learn their lessons from last season, and you look at some of their business so far, I think Swindon are strengthening, and for me, they're my favourites. Good club, good fan base. I think they belong in League One. I think they're going up as champions. So then, guys, that wraps up my League Two predictions for the 22-23 season. Let me know if you agree or disagree down below. Drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.